point, we've done a couple different things. Would you like to see how to build any other chords? Like, you want to do a process where we'll spend like 5 to 10 minutes on this. We're just going to pick the key, try to see how many chords, extended chords we can come up with, and then plot them on the staff.
All right, let's go with D. How about we go D minor?
Oh, look at you. Do you want to see it through the eyes of the major or the minor? We
That's
always
a
see
good
it through the
question,
eyes, right? So let's see it through the eyes of the minor. What is our minor 1?
D.
Yes. What is our next step? What's the sonority of the next step?
That's the E, so that's the major. Oh no, I meant diminished.
It's his. Good job. Look at the circles. I've never done that. Fun. All right, and then what's our third? Is it a major, minor, diminished?
It's a major.
Cool.
F major.
What is the only triad that is not found in a major and/or minor scale without being altered?
What is the only triad?
Yeah. How many different types of triads are there?
3, right?
There are 4.
Oh, okay. Because I mean major, minor, diminished.
I mean, hypothetically 5 if you had full and half, but the next one, we know that a 1-3-5 is major. We know 1 flat 3-5 is minor. We know that 1 flat 3 flat 5 is diminished, and then this one,
Oh,
yeah, augmented. 1
sharp 5.
Nash 3 sharp 5. You betcha. So that always eludes me, and what I would love for you to do, we're not gonna, get down on it today too much, but alter whatever you're noodling with this week. Whenever you feel yourself wanting to extend towards that diminished, if we were in the key of C, it would be
B.
B diminished. So maybe you could see any of your other dominant chords, like your 1, your 4, and your 5, as being like a G augmented. So when you add G and you have B and then you put like your D sharp in there, yeah, it still gives tension and pushes it right down. So we've got our F here. What is our minor 4?
G.
It is correct. And then, yes.
B flat. C.
And through the eyes of this, you do still see this. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp.
Oh, the major.
Yeah, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's right. My
Yeah.
brain just. I'm thinking ahead of myself. I'm not supposed to do that. Just write what's on the board. I mean. All right, here we go. And then double flat. Yeah, right? And the idea about this is it allows us to see it in our mind's eye. There's no reason that you would need to know that D double flat has D double flat, E double flat, F flat, G double flat. But the idea is when you solidify this nonsense, that makes a whole heck of a lot more sense.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and why would we do that? We're not going to call D double flat that. We're going to call it C natural, or at best, B sharp. Cool. What comes after this one then? You have your D flat, D Nash, and then
D sharp.
You betcha. So we have D sharp,
E sharp.
E sharp.
There will be F double sharp.
It is
And then G sharp.
G sharp,
A
A sharp. You betcha.
B sharp.
Mhm.
C double sharp.
C double sharp Cs. That allows us to see these 2 hypothetical keys as you would go, oh, absolutely. I'm not going to be playing in D sharp. I'm going to be playing in E flat. It allows us to say E, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D. And then by that point, I know it looks like nonsense, but the only thing you're really walking away remembering is this one and this one. You know? So how do you make any major or minor?
A major, a minor, flat to 3 and a 7.
Yes! You missed one though. Majors, 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless you did and I skipped it in my brain. Minors, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6.
Oh, right.
Flat 7. Cool. So the reason why D major has 2 sharps, and we're getting rid of them, we now must add the B flat. Hence, that's the reason why F major and D minor share the key.
Gotcha.
You did? Yeah, awesome. Cool.
All right.
So here we go. If we were just to name chords, we would absolutely be like what? D, I'll do the first one. D, F sharp, A.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Shoots, that's our major.
That's major, yeah.
D, what's a minor? What's the easiest common tone? D major and D minor are the two closest triads in all music. Because why?
D major and D minor.
Yeah, why are these the same? Ish. Out of all the other chords rather than G major, which is very close.
I mean, aside from being the 5.
Yeah, 1-5. They're the same, right? What's the only thing you do when you've got a major that you do when you have a minor? You flatten the what?
The 3.
Yeah, the mediant. So when you flatten the mediant, you get a minor tonality. The D F sharp A and the D F A are the 3 closest tones in all of music. They're called common tones. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
Yeah, think about it. Like, it could share something close like this. If you made it into like a, remember what in the key of D, memorize like D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. What's the minor 7th in the key of D?
C.
Wonderful. If you add that to this and you get this chord and you have a major and then you've got this
Minor.
minor, yeah. So if you had the C sharp, you'd have the major 7. And if you got this, you have the minor 7. Right? So even if you have a chord which is close to it, these two chords are kind of close. You know what I mean? Because what are you absolutely kind of just missing? If you put this in here, well, what is that? That's nothing more than an F6.
Oh, right.
Yeah, your F6 is the exact same thing as your D minor 7. There are multitudes of ways to differently name these, and it really comes down to this. We talked a little bit about this, but when you have something that has this and you just don't see your D minor 7 as being a D minor 7, you view it as being D minor pentatonic. 1 flat 3 4, 5 flat 7, and or F major pentatonic. 1 2 3 5 6. That 6 is included there. Both of those are your common tones. So if you alter any of that and you put one of these in a inversion, you could lend the tones of these it's this with the extension note because you're not going past the 8th. You don't need to have the minor 7th or the major 7th if you're going to do add chords. So that's kind of what we're gearing to. How do we hear these chords? And we've done stuff like we played like a G minor and put an E flat on the bass, and you're like, oh yeah, that does sound really good. Yeah. Or we'll take something like play a C minor with a major 7. Gorgeous. And you have to have an ear for it. Beautiful. Even with the lower tone, that's an inversion. That is a 7/3. Again. It doesn't matter where you put the tones, as long as you see the lowest tone, no matter where you put it, defines the inversion. Cool. So we've already kind of gone over 2. We've got we're not going to count it, but major, minor can do 7s. Let's hold the 7ths. What are we doing as far as a 6 chord? What's a 6? So right here we have what?
Oh, the 1 through 1.
Yeah, 1 through 5. Yeah. So if we had here, we would still have a 6.
Yes.
Like a D minor with a 6. It's going to have the B flat in there. Cool. If we have a chord that does this, what is a D minor with a flat 6? Oh, and you're including that what in there? You've got an A in there?
Yeah, oh, okay, wait, this way. We wouldn't add the 5 now, right?
No, I mean, hypothetically, we're still playing with the chord. If you view it through the eyes of F, and you had a 6 chord that's like this, I'm going to do it in my brain party. If you have a 6 chord, if you got your 6 here and you're not playing the minor, or 6 wouldn't be a major, it would be a minor. So our minor in the key would be the B flat, or the key D. Sorry, the key F. So if we're doing analyzation, we're looking for the 4 chord. We can find that the 2 and the 4, they're still the same. So if we have 2 and the 4 and a major, they're still going to be the same. B minor, B flat major, G minor, C major, A minor. This being played as the lower tone, it kind of is the same expression we would have with F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E. If we had F, A, C, and we added our 6, you'd be playing a 6 chord. Well, what's the flat 6? This is a major 6, right?
Yeah.
Well, in a minor chord, you're utilizing the minor 6, but you're doing it as a major. So it's a completely different way to view it. And the idea is if you do major and minor, you can do extensions. What's our diminished? How do you spell like a D diminished then?
DF and A flat.
You betcha. seeing this, and you're picking up our key, we have the key signature for 1 flat, and we're building on a chord. Let's say we put it here. What is the name of this interval?
Major. Or I mean, a third.
Yes, it is a third. And what type? Is it a major third or a minor third? And really quick pre-question. What is all music viewed through?
A major.
Yes. What is the distance between D to F sharp?
Yeah, sharp is a major.
It is. So what is the distance between D to F natural?
It's a minor.
It is. Because these are stacked tertiarily, what does this next third have to be?
Major.
Wonderful. And now, just how about an extension chord? We're just talking sevens, right? Let's throw a 7. What's our 7 up there? What's the note that's going to give it the chutzpah?
C.
It is. Nice. And then what is that distance?
This is a third.
It is. And what
Minor third. Rather.
type? There we are. So the idea is, if I put an accidental here, first off, when we write the letter in music analysis, the accidental, or the application of the augmentation or the diminished, goes after the note. But when we see it on the staff or the stave or the meter or the measure, it's before the note. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Right.
We're going to flip this too, where I'm going to play some stuff one of these days and you're going to write out what we're doing rather than me doing the writing. Cool. Right now it's just helping me see how to visualize it with another person rather than just like chicken scratch. When we do this, we're looking at what type of chord?
That is a 7. What are we in? So we're in D, so
yeah.
This is the what you call it?
Yeah.
Flat 7. So this would be a utility.
No, because
Oh,
it
no,
doesn't
I'm
possess a
sorry.
major third.
I'm sorry.
But that
Minor 7. D minor 7.
You betcha. And just feel on this. If we had D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, right? We have what modus? What is this mode called?
ALB.
Yeah, for sure. And what is the other name?
Minor. Natural minor.
Natural minor. Why is it called natural minor?
I know why. I just can't explain.
To articulate it?
Right. So because right the 3, 6, and 7s are all.
Yes. What you've essentially done is you've taken the wavelengths or the tones that cause dissonance that before caused dissonance and now cause less dissonance. That's just it. It's a hard way to explain. Play C to B. Do the octave or do that one. They're both dissonances. What kind of dissonance is that called?
It's a minor 7.
It is. Play the minor second, then play the major seventh. Do you see why the distance of one going up is the major seventh? I'm just going to use this as an example here. If I did this and I had a sharp right here, and I went down here, do you see how this here would be our major seventh? And then if I put that note right there, it would be a minor second. 7, 8, 9. Always adds the 9, opposite of a major minor. Remember when we did this, when we were doing an inversion? Awesome. So knowing that as part of the criterion for this, you can see this as just having opposing ideas. Now here's the idea. You had a C to B, right?
Yeah.
Play those again, do the distance. Now do it like a couple times. Now add E and G to it. Oh, it's gorgeous! Why? Because the tones that you involved have pull and sway. They make us feel a certain modus or mood. That modus or mood that we're describing right there is our natural minor. And the idea is all you did was you pulled tension away from a C sharp to a C. You pulled the tension away from a B natural to a B flat. You also did that with the third. Cool? And good job catching that with the major third. All major thirds would definitely be a major modus. Right on. So, having said that, let's move on. What other types of chords? We said we could do like the 6 chords. So you have like a D, F sharp, A, B flat, you betcha. How about after that? We have the flat 6. You know, we can do that. Flat 6. How about any other chord then? What is the natural tendency to do? Major, minor, diminished. We talked about the augmented, right? So D, F sharp, A sharp. Cool. Now what?
So that's major, minor there, and then after that would be like your harmonic minor here.
Well, not even to get into scales, just building triads, tones, two dyads, harmonies, major third, minor third, major third. Those are already our base stock. Now we're kind of getting into extensions and how to not flub on those being like named improperly. How to actually go through the process of seeing what an additional note would be. Cool, so you just stacked that all thirds, right? So you went from your last third.
No, we all do this. Okay, third. Okay.
That looks like that in my mind when I hear that chord. Although I hear it. There it is.
So this would be like a diminished with a 9. But if I did.
Let's call it out. How do you always read a triad? Do you go to the middle line? Do you go to the G line? Do you hit the top note? Do you look for triads? How do you read music? What's the first thing you do when you look at a note cluster and or a chord or a triad or an extension?
That's a good question. Usually I would probably look at it as a triad.
Excellent, because you're gearing your eyes to look at things stacked. But what's essentially the most important part of everything you read? The foundation, the root.
Yeah.
What's the root?
So that would be D.
Cool. What's our next stackable third?
F.
It is. What's our fifth?
Fifth would actually be A, but.
I thought you were playing it as a diminish. I thought I heard a dim there.
Oh yeah, well, I did that, but then I think earlier I was actually doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that one. It's a little prettier. Cool. We're still stacking A, so our root chord has been established. D minor.
Wait, hold on, sorry, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Cool. Awesome.
That's what I'm supposed to be. Yeah, so,
Cool.
So this would be what, like a D.
D, F, A, and then what's your next note?
C.
Cool. Now your C is what type of relativity to the D? Is it the minor what?
Minor 7.
Wonderfully said. So you've got your root, you've got your flat 3 median, you've got your fifth, which is your dominant. That pulls all the other tones towards it. Rawr, tug of war. And then C allows you to lay a stable foundation, so when you go above the chord with the note we're looking at, you have something awesome there to let it go.
Right.
Although, you could go without it and remove that C, and you would still have to pull the C away from there. Still nice, but just, I don't know, it feels like it's, my ear is filling in that C, I think is what I'm trying to say. And then above a C is, what's the top line of the treble clef?
Top end of the treble.
It is.
G, yeah, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, right?
Wonderful. What key has one sharp on the top line?
Okay, one sharp on the top line, so that would be G.
Yes. And that note is?
F sharp.
Wonderful. What is the space below?
E.
Right on. This week, when you're doing scales, if you try to do them, try to say F, G, E, no, I'm sorry, G, F. When you're going backwards, it blows my mind. Trying to go through the scale going forward is going C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C is easier. When you try to go backwards and say like G, F, E, D, C, B, A. If you write them backwards that way, it works. You could also write them backwards that way. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Write them backwards each time for each key. And when you do it, you'll start seeing the F sharp there, even if the sharp's not there in your mind's eye. When you go to D, you'll see the F sharp and C sharp. You'll be able to see them backwards. So eventually, when you're doing anything on an instrument, your brain will go D, C sharp. You'll be like, oh, I'm not in the key of A. Oh, I'm not in the key of D. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's just one way to do this.
Yeah, I gotta swirl it around my head a little bit more. But that's why I was like, even for bass, right? I think, who was it? I think it was Rufus Philpott. He talks a lot about when you see a passage played backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Try to see it as a musical palindrome.
Right, because it is, if, or even like if you're doing practicing scales.
Yes.
Right, everybody, you know, we kind of go ascending.
Yeah,
Well,
can you do that really quick? Can you just any key, pick any modus. Cool, Ionian. What do you think Ionian is backwards? It's still Ionian, right? But it's a scale. But what is Ionian, the spelling? Ready?
It's a whole,
Uh-huh.
wait, I'm sorry. So, okay, so root. Whole, half.
Yes.
Whole,
Whole.
half.
Half. Cool. Now let's say it backwards. Ready?
Okay, so
Half. Whole. Whole. Half. Whole. What mode is that? What did I do? I missed one. No.
That is, wait on. No, that's not Phrygian. That is,
Play it. Play C, D flat.
half, C.
Now watch this. Let me clear your brain up. Whole, half, right?
Right.
Whole, half. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian. You were
Okay,
correct in
that's-
your assumption, yes.
Okay.
But the brain didn't fit in. It's like, no, I'm right.
No, because I was looking at the third and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, so third would be a major and a Phrygian anyway.
So when you're practicing, try these in your phrasings. You don't have to do the whole thing, but if you've got something like Mixolydian, right? Well, what is Mixolydian backwards? The only one that doesn't have a mirror image is Dorian. Dorian is Dorian.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a musical palindrome, which is why Dorian sounds so good. And you can do so much in Dorian. That natural six leads to having the air being pulled one way or the other towards those tensity the tense notes. It's a very interesting concept. We'll get into that. We're talking about tone leading, modality through the eyes of melodic minor or harmonic minor. All right, and then lastly, what is the E in correlation to Ya?
So that's the 9.
It is. The 7's implied. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't need to say D minor 7 9. The only chord that has a 9 and an additional is a 6 9 because the 6 is not implied in music.
Right, okay, gotcha.
Unless you're Benson. No. No. Tell you what, how are we doing on time here? Can I talk to your ear off? Oh, we got another minute. Do you have any undying questions about how to go through here, or do you just want to watch the rest of this process?
Yes.
Cool. These are our 6s. You definitely got the 7s. We would add on our C sharp for having a major minor. We would add on our C to have a minor 7, just as we did. If you want to go above that, since the C is already there, it's relatable to say, cool, if we put the E, that would be a 9. If we put the G, that would be an 11. You can do like a sharp 11, G sharp. You can do a flat 11. You can do a 13 as well. But there is no 10 and there is no 12. Cool? Disgustingly beautiful. And honestly, that same I mean, a lot of the music from the real book, jazz book, doesn't show like the way to get down on that. I've got a jazz theory book if you ever want to borrow it. Mark Levine goes through an immense amount of music, and it's very hard to understand. So I took it one thing at a time, listened to the examples, try to play along with it, and then apply it to all the different instruments. Just now, after reading this as much as I could to stand, just now doesn't make sense. Just to the point where I'm like, oh, this is an expression of pattern work. This is how the artists like use diatones to move around the board,
Okay.
or how just like what was the last name on Ruff? Philippine.
Rufus Philpot. So Philpot.
Cool. I'll look it up. Cool. And then the idea once you get past here is you don't have to have anything other than something like this. D F sharp A. What happens if I get rid of F sharp and I put a G in there? What is that called?
So that would have been D5, right? No, because D5 will be octave.
It'd be a D double flat 5. which is not a third. Unless it is, I don't know. Could be. Jazz is perceptive.
So this, what would this be?
Well, how does it make you feel? Now relieve it to the F sharp.
Sus.
Yeah, there you go. And there's no need to write anything after a sus. A D sus is a sus4. Right. Unless you write a 2. There's no need to have the sus in there as well. You can just write D2. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But then again, there's no need to have the 2. You can just write 9. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. You hardly ever see somebody write D2 unless it's specifically implied that you're going to be playing D and E, and then maybe that 5th. Why? The 5th of every chord, when you got too much going on over here, is implied. The ear hears it anyways. You don't even need it. It's a very weird thing about the psychology.
Well, yeah, but I guess I took it as when I saw, like, say if I saw a D2, it meant, you know, kind of like the sus4, right? It's going from a 2 to 1, right?
Yeah, and D sus2 is the perfect way to say that. I mean, if you were to take D, F sharp, A, anytime you go above the D, you have to have what?
Yeah, okay.
The minor 7th, unless you want it, unless you're going for this type of chord. Then you would absolutely charismatically keep this, and then you would throw this in. Ta-da! But if you don't have that, it then resides back to just being this. It has that dominant function, the median. Not the median, it changes the relativity where the notes get pulled. And then after here, if we wanted to do any other extensions, you know, you don't have to. You can just put none of this, and you just put the E. What is this? This is a D add.
Okay. Right, because the 7's not there.
Yeah. Ruby? So this is something when you're trying to do writing. This, I know I'm going to summarize this way too darn fast, but check this out. If you're writing a passage, you're like, cool, I got this progression. The progression's in the key of, let's say, what are we, F or D minor. We're doing this. We're going to do a minor 1. We're going to do a 4 chord. Then we're going to do our 6. And then we're going to go to our minor 1 again. This should feel complete. This is a D minor. This is it is. Oh man, these markers are garbage. You got it. And then, wonderful. Can you play it so we can hear it? Mm-hmm. So add the 7th on each one of these. D minor 7, G minor 7, B dominant 7. What is that in the key of D? It's the C. What is that in the key of G? It's the, because we're viewing it through the eyes of the major. Should have been F major, F sharp. Now it's F natural. And then in B flat, we've got what? You betcha. Wait a minute, is that right? You betcha. You betcha is preemptive. What's the last note in the key of B flat? B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G. Wonderful. So we have an A flat. Now let's hear how, ooh, disgusting, unless you love it. Now try to play all those as minor chords, and what you find is having this kind of like, feels like an easier pitch when you're going to your G minor. Notice how I didn't move my hand. Sorry about my black. You don't have to move your fingers there. You can keep them in inversion so you're not jumping around the place. And then what you'll see is maybe this note that you added on works quite well when you're making a melody. Let's go. So when you spell out your melodies and you're starting to hear chords and you're dabbling with those are the notes that maybe you can hum. Don't play them. Play the D minor, hum the C and hear it. Don't play the F, hum the F, and then alter it in your head, and then try singing out loud. If you've got and you can hear the tonality, maybe well, when you hum a 5 notes in a row, chances are you're going to go, oh, that sounded like Phrygian, or oh, that sounded like major. That is a great foundation to start building melodies in your head, or being able to tab. Cool? Get fun.
Yes.
Right on. Coolness. Excellent. And then I'll make a quick video, or maybe just send this one along so it's a recap. Watch it at your own leisure. Anyway, if anybody here had fun watching that nonsense, cool. Subscribe to the channel. Check it out. Or not. Plenty of stuff out there. Aloha. Chrissy! Right on. Good seeing you, Professor Oak. Hi, Ben. Did you enjoy? Anywho, aloha.